Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. This is going to be another one of those videos where I pull from different past videos on one topic and I bring in together a more detailed view on that one topic so you have it all in one place. Today's topic is going to be how I and how you can build vocal power and how to stretch your upper chest voice. You may call it your mixed voice, but from this point on in this video, I'm going to be calling it your upper chest voice. So if that is something you want to do or something you're currently working on, stick around. You're going to want to check this out. And while you're here, consider subscribing and giving me a thumbs up and commenting and telling your friends about me. By the way, I'm Judy Fine. I created the Singer Athlete Workout Program. That's my online singing course. I'm also an artist development coach, and I have a program called Hobbyist to Gigging Singer. You can check both of those out at onlinewithjudyfine.com. And don't forget, if you enjoy this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. So there was a time when I believed that not having a powerful voice was just my lot in life. That was just the way it was. I was born that way, and that was the way it was always going to be. And I would try so hard to sing with power, and I didn't know how to do it correctly. And then I would get really frustrated. And then the more frustrated I got, the more I'll say wrongly I tried, and the worse it was. And then I would just hate myself. It was a terrible cycle, and I hope that you don't go through that kind of cycle. But I just want you to understand that I was not born singing the way I sing today. So wherever you are with your voice, if you go through the 4 steps that I'm going to outline that I had to go through, if you trust me and take my advice to heart, you can sing with more power. To show you where I started from, I'm going to do something very uncomfortable. I'm going to share an audio file of me singing around, I think 2004 is when I recorded the voice. You're going to hear that it's breathy, it's thin, it's not very resonant, and you might not notice it, you might not recognize it, but the engineer I was working with, it's a really great friend of mine, would put a little chorus on my voice to try to thicken it up. So it's even a little affected and still not that powerful. There it is. So I wasn't a terrible singer, but I couldn't sing the way I felt. I couldn't sing the way I wanted. So these 4 steps are outlined in a video of mine called 4 Steps to Singing with Mixed Voice Power. Great name. I'm going to stop after each step and sort of give you a little more detail, how it changed things for me, how it can change things for you, and what you can do to start implementing those changes. Now, there is an order to these steps, not that you need to complete and master step 1 before you go to step 2, but there's an order of importance. So here's the first and most important step. With your core, and that means with your ribs expanded. If you're not singing with your core and you want to sing with power, the only place you're going to be able to try to get that power from is your throat, your face, your shoulders, your neck, your tongue. You could be singing over the course of 4 hours. You have to have a strong core, and you have to know how to maintain that, and that means you have to build stamina. Learning to sing from my core was the game changer for me because I was singing from my throat and my face and my shoulders. I literally would sing as a teenager and then go into another room and see my face in the mirror, and there are all these wrinkles there because I was singing like this. I mean, I have wrinkles now, but that's because I'm 53. But the point is, I did not have any basic technique. You can't build new skills on poor foundational technique. So learning to sing from your core is the foundational basic upon which all other skills are built. In the first lesson I have with every new student, we do a singer's anatomy lesson. So I'm not going to give you the whole singer's anatomy lesson now, but in this next snippet, I talk about the basics of what's going on when you inhale and exhale, why people say sing with your diaphragm, and what they really should say. I want you to know this information because it's empowering.
You may or may not have frequently heard the advice, sing with your diaphragm. It's pretty common advice. But I put it to you that most of the people who say it don't even exactly know what it means. Most people think it has something to do with, I don't know, pushing in your stomach or pumping your stomach or somehow tightening your stomach. And there is an element of abdominal importance in all of this, but it's not really about what you're doing with your stomach. Now, I'm not going to give you the full lesson. If you're interested in a more detailed approach to this, you can check out onlinewithjudyfine.com. When you expand your ribs, your diaphragm, which is inside your ribs, it's a sheet of muscles inside your ribs, your diaphragm flattens. The rim of it gets pulled out by your expanding ribs and it flattens. When it flattens, now it's engaged. An engaged muscle is ready to perform a function. A muscle that's at rest is not. So your ribs expand, the diaphragm flattens. This pulls open your lungs, both from the sides, the ribs from the sides, and the diaphragm from below. This pulls open your lungs so that they fill with air. That's why if you take a really big breath, you'll see that your ribs expand. You may think you're controlling it here, but it's really that your ribs are expanding and it's creating this chain of events that causes a vacuum inside your lungs, and that air gets sucked in. When you exhale, your ribs go in and your diaphragm goes back up to its resting place and it pushes all the air out of the lungs. So if you're doing any kind of exhalation, if you're making any kind of sound, any kind of sigh, any kind of exhale, you are using your diaphragm to do that. So when people tell you to sing with your diaphragm, they really don't mean just sing with your diaphragm. The real thing they should be saying is sing with your diaphragm engaged.
So when your ribs are expanded, your diaphragm is engaged, and now it can regulate air up to your vocal folds without just blowing an indiscriminate amount of air out. This reduces vocal strain, this improves your pitch, and this keeps your body, your core, supporting your singing. When your body is supporting your singing, now you can relax your throat and your tongue and your face. Don't get any premature wrinkles like I did. Once you're relaxing your throat, your tongue, your face, now you can start building other vocal skills because you're not using tension to sing. So that is why learning to sing with your ribs expanded is the most important foundational skill you can learn if you want to really improve your singing, including your power and your upper chest voice. So now the question becomes, how do you do that? Well, one great way is to enroll in the Singer Athlete Workout Program. It's a 10-lesson online course. Included in those 10 lessons are 10 weekly workouts. And within those workouts, there's a succession of 5 ribcage expansion exercises. So it takes you from, being completely new at it and trying to figure out what that is, all the way to being able to do it to sing a 3-set gig. But if you're not a singer athlete, there's one little thing you can do. I'm going to show you right now to start to build the ability to expand your ribs. And then you can keep practicing it as you sing and see if you can build your stamina and do it longer and longer and more easily. So all you're going to do is raise your arms over your head and put your palms together. I can't do this all in camera, but over your head in front of you, palms together. When you do this, this opens your ribs. So then you're going to try to keep your ribs open while you lower your arms so your chest feels lifted. And now you're only going to do belly breaths because in theory, your ribs are expanded. So your chest doesn't need to go up and down now, and you're just going to do belly breaths. And you can just practice this over and over again. Hands over the head, palms together, lower your arms, keeping your ribs up, expanded, belly breaths. And then you can begin to transfer that to your vocal exercises, because you should be doing those, and your song work. Okay, onward to step 2, to singing with mixed voice power. Still jaw exercises. Why do you want to do still jaw exercises? 2 reasons. First of all, when you isolate the muscles of your tongue and throat, you strengthen them more, just like you isolate any muscle when you do any muscle strength training. More important than that, though, what you're doing when you do still jaw exercises is you're normalizing singing without tension. Right now, if you're singing with a lot of tension, especially if you're not singing from your core yet, your body is accustomed to you singing with tension in your throat, in your tongue, in your face, or wherever you do it, neck and up. You have to allow your body to experience singing without that tension. That is why still jaw exercises are so great. How do you have access to still jaw exercises? You know what I'm going to say, the Singer Athlete Workout Program. By the way, the link to the discounted version of the Singer Athlete Workout Program, you can't get to it on my website. You can only get to it through the description of any one of my YouTube videos. It's my thank you to you for watching. So make sure you do it there and don't just go to my website. But for those of you who are still not convinced that the Singer Athlete Workout Program is for you, I do have a snippet of another video, an old tutorial video where I take you through a particular tongue stretch exercise. So I'm going to put a little snippet of it here so you can try it. So the warm-up is called the ya-ya warm-up. You may have come across it in other workout combinations I've put together, but I've never made a video where you watch me doing it for obvious reasons. So your tongue is going to be extended, not as far as you can possibly extend it, just so that the tip is hanging over your bottom lip a little bit. Like that. Jaw relaxed, cheeks relaxed, upper lip is relaxed, your jaw's gonna stay still. Let me go down here. Ah, it's loud. This is the melody. Again, if you've been doing other exercises of mine, you'll recognize this. La, 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 la. See how silly it looks? Jaw's not moving. Tongue is kind of pulsing forward and back. La, 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 la. La, la, you should check yourself in a mirror, because when your tongue's moving like that, it might be hard to tell whether it's just your tongue moving or your jaw is moving. So look at yourself in the mirror. La, 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 la. One more. La, 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 la. Now, there are two ways new students generally come to me. Either they're really comfortable in their head voices, but not comfortable in their chest voice, or vice versa. Really comfortable in their chest voice, avoid their head voice at all costs. I was someone who was taught to sing only in my head voice and to bring it down low into my chest voice, so I couldn't actually sing very low. And it was part of the reason I never really developed any body or richness to my sound. No matter which category you fall into, you want to develop all of your range. You can't work at bringing two voices together until you have those two voices really solid. So whichever part of your range is weaker for you, spend extra time developing that part of your range. Naming this one is short and sweet, but accomplishing it takes time. This is a long game. Everything we're talking about here is the long game. You can enjoy lots of little wins along the way, but be in it for the long game. So the long game is make your head voice strong, make your chest voice strong, and then we can bring those together. Step 4 is going to be how to bring them together. But right now, if you avoid your head voice because you hate it, or you never sing in your chest voice because you don't think it sounds good, or whatever your story is, you have to develop what you don't like. I say this frequently, and you'd be surprised at how many times it creates an aha moment. If you don't work muscles in a certain way, they're not going to get stronger. So if you don't work in your chest voice or in your head voice, despite not liking it, it's never going to get better. And the reason people don't know this, and this becomes an aha moment, is that people still believe you're either born with it or you're not. I'm telling you, I'm here as an example that that's not true. I'm going to show you later, because you're going to hear a recording of my voice from just a few years ago. And you're going to hear how different it is from that recording you heard previously. But before I could get that powerful upper chest voice that you're going to hear, I had to have a strong head voice and a strong chest voice. How can you do that? Singer Athlete Workout Program, of course. But there are exercises all over the place. I have lots of exercises on my YouTube channel you can try, and other people have lots of things out there you can try. Whichever voice you need to build, you're going to have a strong core, and you're going to get better and better at normalizing keeping your tongue relaxed. And then you're going to work out whichever part of your range is weaker. And then we'll go to step 4. And that is experiencing the sound forward. As you go higher in your chest voice, you need the creation of sound to become similar to the way you create sound in your head voice. If you can bring that into your chest voice experience as you go higher, you'll find that you have more headroom to sing in your chest voice up high, and you'll find strength there, and you'll actually find better and more controlled vibrato in that place too. So step 4 is the most directly related of these 4 steps to expanding your upper chest voice. These are all important steps, as I've said all along, but step 4 is specific to how you get higher in your chest voice. So like I said in that video, you have to pay attention to how it feels when you're singing in your head voice, where you're experiencing the sound and the vibration, and then you try to create that same experience while you're singing higher and higher in your chest voice. Again, this is a long game thing. You will notice a difference right away, but it will also just keep getting better over time. So this next video snippet is a tutorial where I give you 2 tools to use, really mouth shapes that you're going to use to try to experience that raise, that increase in your upper chest voice. At the end of that tutorial, I sing using those 2 tools, and you will hear, remember how I sounded before? You will hear the power that I can sing with now because I played this long game. All right, so before we talk about expanding your chest voice range, let's talk really quickly about what I mean by chest voice. So when we vocalize, the sound vibrates inside our bodies, and in a very general sense, the lower notes vibrate more in your chest and the higher notes vibrate more in your head. They vibrate everywhere, every time, but more in your chest and high notes more in your head. So we call the lower part of your range your chest voice and the higher part of your range your head voice. In between those two ranges, that what some people refer to as mixed voice, I call your upper chest voice. There are elements of what goes on when you're singing in your head voice and what goes on when you're singing in your chest voice that get mixed, therefore mixed voice. So we're talking about mixed voice today. I prefer to call it your upper chest voice because I feel like two different voices is already confusing enough and we don't need to add a third one. Before I get into this, I just want to remind you that this is a marathon and not a sprint. Go to onlinewithjudyfine.com if you need help with that. All right, the first of the two tools I'm leaving you with is I. I, as if you just stepped in some dog poop and you can smell it. That kind of I. That position in your mouth. So as you're getting higher, I'm kind of doing a female range right now. As you get close to the place where you're going to need to change into your chest voice, you want to incorporate that sort of raised soft palate. Raised upper lip helps most people. And kind of the feeling that the roof of your mouth is spread. Okay? And then you can just go through the vowels. Like this is one simple way to do it. So I'm going to start with a G. And position your mouth and just go even my ooh is not ooh. Two is what I call with my students making fun of opera singers. Sorry, opera singers. But if you are just going to pretend you are making fun of an opera singer and go, most likely you're feeling it up here. You might have your lips forward. You might have it lifted a little, but most people go forward. Right up here, okay? That's all my head voice. And that's not the sound we're going for with these tools, but the positioning where you're feeling it vibrate is what you're going for. So then I want you to sort of take how that feels and try to apply that to your chest voice. Makes my lips come forward. I can't help it. And there's a little bit of the dog poop. I don't have a name for these things. I'm feeling it all right here. So the point of these two mouth shapes, the and the making fun of an opera singer, because I can't come up with a better name for that. Those two mouth shapes are intended to get you, or what they do, what they accomplish, is they get you to focus the sound forward in your face, the vibration forward in your face. That is the location of your upper chest voice, of power, of vibrato, of control. So now, strong ribs, strong core, relaxed tongue, and targeting the sound behind your nose, between your nose and your upper lip, roof of your mouth, behind your front teeth, wherever exactly you experience it and what you want to call it when you're singing in your head voice. You combine those three things to build your upper chest voice. All I can tell you, if you're now saying, Judy, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, I don't get it. All I can tell you is that you have to experiment with it. And of course, you can shoot me questions. I'd love to answer your questions. But really, you have to experiment with it because it's a feeling thing. It isn't a light switch that I can turn on for you. You have to experiment and then create some synaptic pathways and new motor habits, and you will feel it and it will evolve. This is the way it worked for me. This is the way it works for my students. Go through these steps and check in with them all the time, because these aren't just beginner singer steps. This is what you will use always. It's just you're going to keep peeling away new layers of progress. I paused here in this tutorial in part to explain this a little bit more to you, but also I'm going to take a moment to remind you of how I sounded in 2004.
Now tell me what you want me to do. I'm not blind and I know you want to.
And now I'm I'm going to close out the end of this video with the end of this tutorial where I sing using these mouth positions I just described to you.
When I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you.
Thank you so much for checking this video out. I hope you find it helpful. I hope that it inspires you to play the long game. I hope you experiment with these things and that you see the progress they can bring. And I hope that if you have any problems or questions, that you will shoot them to me, because I do this because I love doing it. So I really do want to answer your questions. Please shoot me your questions.